Hey guys, this is Cody with Nexus Event Studio, and I am doing the next part here in BitBurner. Sorry I've been away a little bit. I had to fix the computer and get it all back up and running, so I had to redo things. And so I kind of wanted to show what were some of the next things that I kind of want to do. Basically, can I get these pieces and get to the end of this and then start getting into some of the more spoiler kind of content. And so I will let you guys know when I get to that point. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is this little script. Some of you guys have probably been playing for a little bit, and so you're getting to the point to where I'm probably too slow and you're kind of getting up. And so this will get us a little bit closer. And then these are pieces that were done kind of here and here. And the other ones that I had started and then before I restarted everything. So I'll get that to where we're caught up and in with this series. And then we'll end up with the rest of the pieces here. So we'll get started on that. All right, so let's clear a screen. Call this right now. Let's go with what were we doing? The backdoor. So we'll just call it backdoor. Backdoor CLI. So some of the problem that we have is that we cannot specifically automate what we need to be able to do because we just can't write that code yet. But what we can do is we can use the terminal here, and just like how we can connect to Noodles. So let me just do our scan analyze. So in here, you've got the various things. And so for instance, we've got III here. We've got kind of the first one. Well, this isn't the first one. I'm right. This one here. So we have from home, go to Joe's, we go to CSEC. So we need to be able to replicate that. And so one of the things that you can do is here on the command line is you can chain this together. So for instance, we have connect, I'm going to go to Joe's Guns. If I put a semicolon there, I can now do the next command in the series. So for instance, I can now do connect. I don't get the autocomplete, but that's no fun. CSEC. And let's just do, what is it? Scan, no, net, analyze. We'll do scan because I can actually spell that. So connect to Joe's, connect here. We can now, are in. So what we can really do is instead do backdoor. And now if I hit enter, it'll go connect and run backdoor. So what we want to do is we want to create a script that does this for us. So that way I can then copy paste it and bam, I'm in. And the reason we want to do that is because, well, I want to be able to find them without having to actually go through and find them. So like III, wherever that was right here, that's like 1, 2, 3, 4 levels deep. And if I don't have everything in here, and if you notice, when you go and do your augmentation and install those, the servers change. So I can't put a hard path in because as soon as you do your augmentations, it all changes. And then you got to go and find things again. If we write a script, we just run the script and it gets it for us. So that's kind of what we're doing, what we're trying to achieve. And so let's go ahead and dive in there. So what is it that we need? Well, we need to be able to scan servers for connected ones. We need to much like earlier, we need to keep track of which ones that we have already visited. All right. So when we scan, we need to actually keep track of the path. So that way we can print it out, because we're going to be searching for many of these. Some of these could have some shared path. We need a way to keep track of the path through the servers. So we got to keep track of server paths to print later, right? We then need to figure out if this server is one of the servers we care about and need to print, right? When we're doing that, to backdoor, you need to be able to have the correct hacking skills, right? And so if we have the hacking skills to backdoor, then print out the path or do a message saying how much we need, right? Another thing is if we've already backdoored, then give us a message. That way I'm not trying to backdoor something I've already done already. There's really no point. So I think these are pretty much the steps that we need, right? So it's kind of high level, thought about it. We did it manually. So that way we can understand a little bit of how we're going to then code it up. Because if we don't understand how to do it manually, there's no way we're going to be able to code it. So that's kind of the first thing we got to do. How did I know when we came back here? Well, I looked. First, I looked for what I needed, and then I followed it back, right? I said, hey, I got to go to fantasy, then I print this, but I got to print it in the reverse order. So first I got to find it, and then I come back, and then I print it out. Boom, right? So that's what we're doing. So how do we do that? Well, there's many things. So before we had, first off, we're always going to start at home, right? So var home equals home. So we start at home, and then we're going to need to keep track of ones we visited. So var servers visited equals a new set. So that way we don't have to worry about duplicates, all those. We can just check, does it have it? Yep. Then we need our path. So server path. And we are going to do that as an array. And so the reason that we're doing this as an array is, one is because JavaScript is very capable of what it does. So the things that we're going to be using are the push and pop. Things to add a thing here at the end, and then another one to go at the bottom. So what I mean is we're going to have, so for instance, this is kind of what the array is going to look like. So earlier we had Joe's guns, then we had the CSEC, right? So this is kind of how it's going to end up looking, this array, right? So 0, 1, 2. This is one of the ones we want to look for. And so what happens is we're going to, when we visit home, right, we're going to push it onto it. So we're going to end up with just home. Then we'll go visit the next place, Joe's gun. So then we add and we push onto that, and so on and so forth, right? So eventually we get to the one we want, in which case then we will do a for loop to then print at 0, 1, 2, and just kind of printing those in order, right? So that's kind of why we're doing it that way. So we don't need to start actually with home on there. Oh yeah, we do actually want to. So I was saying we don't really type that, but typing it in means that no matter where we're at, it'll always just work. So we can start with home. That works. All right, so we got our server path. We're going to add home in there. So we can just add home. We'll start with home. That works. I don't need spaces. Cool. So let's create a method that's just find the next one, right? So we'll just say a function find next server. Come on. We're going to need our NS. We're going to need our server path. And we're going to need to know servers visited. Right? So the idea is that we're going to call this method find next server with the server path, servers visited. All right. So find next server. Well, we want to be able to remember how we said it. We're kind of starting at home. We're going to have to start branching out. So home has many different pieces, right? So if you go home, you've got noodles, you got food and stuff, but we're starting at home. We got to find our way, right? So first we're going to look at noodles, and then noodles, we're going to say, hey, is there anything else? No. Okay. Start next one, food and stuff. So is there any other? Yes. Nectar. And so we're kind of, so there's different search algorithms. So there is one that's called, well, they're general categories. So there's depth first, meaning that I go down the long chain, right? So I go like here to down, down, down. And then it says, okay, I didn't find the one I want. So I go up and then, oh, okay, here's a sibling here, and then go down that rabbit hole. And then, so that's kind of depth first. You're going deep down first. And then the other way is, I forget how they call it, but not depth first. So you're going to start looking at each level, and then from there you kind of go down. So we're going depth first is what we're doing. So with that, I'm also going to show you something called recursion. So when I go and scan down, I'm then going to scan down again, and scan down again, and scan down again, right? So you can do that all within one function, but sometimes it's nice to be able to do it this way. So you'll see what I mean here in a second. So basically what it comes down to is you can call find next server when you're inside the function call find server. So what we need to do is all right. So we need to see where are we at in the server path. So we need the server name equals server path dot. Let's add my things. I don't have my autocomplete. So yeah, BNS. We've got these server path and servers visited. Server visited is a set. You are a string array. So now, hey, there we go. I'm going to pop, removes the last element, and notice the thing that was here. If it's empty, undefined is returned, and the array is not modified. So with our truthy, we can just say, hey, do we get a server name? Or is it undefined? If it's not a server name, or it's, you know, undefined in this case, we're just going to return. We said, hey, we got to the bottom, right? So if we passed in home, or we passed in not home, if we had passed in an empty array, there we go. This will pop. I'll get nothing. Hey, there's no next server because there's nothing else in the array. So that's kind of what we're doing there. Right, so this is our base condition for this recursion. This is like the be done, stop going down further, right? So now we have our server name, what we're doing on here. Then we got to put it back because we just wanted to get the name. We got the name, so we need to put it back onto the path. Otherwise, we won't have it there. So gotta make sure we put it back. All right, so now that we put it back, what we need to do is we need to check if, you know, if this is the backdoor thing that we want, right? So let's bring this down here. All right, so up here, we did our our fake scan, and our first scan said home on here, right? So that's kind of our starting case. So we come in here, scan servers for connected servers, right? So first we had to get the server name and make sure we put it back. So then we need to, let's see, we already keep track. Well, we're at this point. This is one of the servers. Right, so if this is one of the servers, function is backdoor server ns server name. I don't think I need anything else. Right, so now we've got, if it is a backdoor server, then this is what we want to do. We want to not print backdoor command, right? NS. We need the server path. Like so. All right. So now that we have, let's just say it's not, well, if this is, well, regardless of whether it is or is not, the next thing we need to do is, can I right click and just create? No, I can't. Okay, so I got to create this function too. Some developer environments will let you like right click on it and let you automatically create all that stuff. So that way you don't have to manually type this in like I am now. All right, so that will be this piece here is backdoor server. That's actually this piece here. All right, so now we can say new server names equals ns.scan. We're starting our scan from the server name. And I also need to add, so sorry, I was thinking scanning gave me new names. I'm going to see one that I had already. So this is where I need to do the or servers visited contains has server name, right? So if we've already visited it, then we need to return as well. Home we wouldn't have visited already, but now that I'm scanning, I have the potential for seeing again, which is why I thought of it. So, okay. So for var I equals 0, I less than new server names dot length. All right, so we got that. We got our new ones. Now I could just get to call ns server path visited servers visited, except for I forgot to say that we have now visited this particular one. Add that, come back, server name. We have now visited it. Cool. Keep track, print later, scan, done. Well, other than the fact I got to do these other two functions, but this piece is done. Find the next server. Yeah. I can't think of a better name at the moment, but I'm going to find the next server. We come through, right? So just make sure we're doing this, right? We're going to take the one off. In this case, home, right? So now it's empty. We haven't visited it yet. And we got something. It was home. So we put it back on. We add it to visited. Is this one of the ones we backdoor? We're going to say no. All right, so now we're going to get the next level down from home. So for example, Joe's Guns. Find next server, server path. And this is where things break because this just has home. So I need to server path push the I server name. New servers, that's what it was. So I. There we go. So now we push Joe's Guns onto here, onto server path. So now it has home in Joe's Gun. We have home for visited. And we find next server. All right, find next server. All right, take off Joe's Guns. It's there. We haven't visited it yet. So put Joe's Guns back. Add that we have visited Joe's Gun. Is it a backdoor? No. All right, get the new ones for Joe's Guns, which was just the CSEC, if I remember correctly. Yep, just Joe's CSEC. All right. CSEC gets pushed on, server path, find new ones up here again. Now we have home, Joe's Guns, CSEC. Take off CSEC. Yes, we haven't visited it. Push it back on. We visited CSEC. Is it a backdoor? Yes. So we're now going to print it. Come down here, scan. We're going to find one, which is back to Joe's Guns. We come in here. We push it on. So now we have home, Joe's guns, csec, Joe's guns. So then we come through up here, pop off Joe's guns. We have visited this before because we've been adding it on there. So we return. So now we come down here. That was the end of the csec one because there were no others, just Joe's guns. We finished that. So we pop out and we finish here. Going back up to the call that had Joe's guns, it found csec and it found home. That's right, it was home. All right, so then it comes through here and calls home. Home comes through. We visited it before. It finishes. It comes out here and goes back. And then we're now take Joe's guns is removed. So now we are back at from Joe's guns. And now the next one would be like noodles or food and stuff or whatever other one comes. And then that goes through and that dives deep down. So sounds like we've got it written correctly now. So if going through and doing that through your head, like I just did, is hard, what you can do is come in here and just put things, right? So every time, let's here, let's do it this way. So every time we call this, let's make this async. Oh, wait. I can collapse you. Cool. All right. So what we're going to do is every time we're going to do await, ns, sleep, ns.sleep, sleep 2 seconds. That way it gives us a chance to see. Let's go ahead and ns tail. Right. So 2 seconds kind of gives us a little bit of time to actually see what's going on. So we can then do ns print. Already visited. Server name. The last one will end up with undefined, but you know, it's there, right? And so now if I were to run backdoor, right? Concurrent calls, did I forget? No, wait. Tried running sleep. Yeah, right here. I awaited it. I wait here. Scan returned 8. I slept. No, I did. Sleep. Find next. Oh, wait. We wait 2 seconds. Comes down. Is it because this await had multiple awaits? Fine, I'll put it here. No, I should have been able to. All right, let's just see it run. without it. I need to slow it down though, because it's going too much. Really? Wait, NS, sleep. Really? It doesn't like... Okay. $35. Oh, haha. This is why you look at all the things. So, told me 35. Let's find next server. Yeah, because this is async too. Duh. All right. Now we can actually see it. Oh. That's out of clear into the air. Yes, clear log. There we go. All right. So now we can see scan, update things, returned 1 for noodles, already visited home. So it goes on to next one, food and stuff. Already had home, that guy. And then food and stuff because it went back down. Already visited. Now it's going to Joe's Guns. Already visited home. Now it's in the CSEC one. Already visited Joe's. So basically, if we do it that way, what you can do is then add anything here. You know, the print. You can say, hey, starting to visit, blah, 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 right? And so this way you can see it step through, change this 3 seconds, need more longer, second if it's shorter, you know, kind of go that route. So, all right, cool. So starting off, we can just say, hey, if server name equals CSEC, right? So that's the first one. All right. Then actually, so, okay. You see this, return true, return false, right? So there's a better way to do this, but I just want to show us just in case. If the server name is this, so if this is true, return true. If this is false, don't run this, hit this, or I could have just said else. Oh, come on. Right, this will be effectively the same thing. If this is true, return true. If it's false, then return false, right? So a better way to do that would just be return that thing, right? If this is true, then return true, right? So, all right, so that's done. All right, now we're going to print. So if you remember when I had, oh, I didn't comment it out. All right, so what we're going for, we've got home, Joe's, and CSEC, right? So whatever, it's just a comment. Right, so you've got that kind of thing. So we need to, for var I equals 0, I less than server path dot length I plus plus. We need a var command equals just a string. Now we're going to add to the command going to, well, there's two ways to write that, right? So you can plus equals the string, or you can say equals command plus the next thing, right? So this would be that. I need space. Hold on. I need the server name equals server path I. Command will be that plus this piece here. Or more specifically, I like this because now it's fewer things. Right. So declared but never read. Yeah, I know. We haven't got that point yet. All right, so if we have a home, semicolon. Then next time through we'll have Joe's, semicolon. Next time after that we'll have CSEC, semicolon. So once all those are done, then we need to add the back door right there. Cool. So we haven't done these two yet, but now I go and run that. It's terrible because I didn't print it. All right. Let's get this. I don't need this visiting thing anymore. We're no longer awaiting you. NS disable logs. Oh, and actually, even better than that, I'm not going to print it to the logs. I'm going to just copy you. I know you got an extra one, but that's not going to kill anything. Tprint command. Tprint is to the terminal. So I run it here. Should see it here. And there it is. Home, noodles, food and stuff. That is not right. It'll probably still get us there. No. It definitely won't get us there. It's supposed to be home, Joe's. I messed up somewhere. Popping, not I get it on. Because when we got to noodles, it should have popped off. Right, so home, add it back on, add it to visited. Oh, scan to get noodles and stuff, push noodles on here, find next server. We get home, sorry, noodles and stuff, right? Visited. Server names, get home, find next. It comes off here. So I need to, when we're done, server path dot pop. Once we finished everything down, so we go all the way down, so like CSEC, right? we need to actually make sure after we finish, we pop it off. So now, okay, I'm not printing anything, so I can get rid of you guys now. Or at least the tail. There we go. So what was happening is we would travel down like right to here, right? Or here, we're at the end. We finished the for loop. We were just saying, hey, come back and then add this to that. We never actually got rid of this and backed out. And that's what that last pop at the end of the for loop was for, is to get rid of that last piece. So this one is a little more complicated, right? So having to call this function over and over and over again, it's a little bit of a pain. And that's one of the reasons that we put these comments in, is to kind of help us be able to visualize, to be able to see how we want to do this, kind of walk ourselves through it, because as you can see, even I made mistakes, and I've done this a little bit. And so I walk myself through it. I have comments, start high level. This is kind of the process you go through, because otherwise you will make mistakes, because we're human. That's what we do. All right, so now let's do these pieces. So there's reasons to do this and reasons not to do this. Reasons to do this. As you saw, there's, some stuff here going on, right? So what I may also do is, let's just print an empty piece. What this will do is, okay, you have to have a little something. Fine. There, you have something. Take that. There, now we got a little more space between there. It doesn't kind of blend in there. In fact, we can just add 2 or 3 of these there in the beginning. Separate a little bit more. We could even say servers that need to be backdoored. There we go. That's just a little easier to see what's going on. Cool. All right, so we've got that. If we have backdoored already, so as I was going back to why we do this. Right now our RAM usage is 1.8. If I add a server info equals ns-get server, well, this sucks. Okay. Var server name equals server path dot pop server path, push it back on. All right, so now get the server. Now we're at 3.8. So if you care about RAM usage, you may not want to do that and just always print. But hopefully you just have space and this isn't a big deal, right? So if server info dot required hacking skill is greater than the players, get player hack skills hacking. ns print, tprint. We need hacking skill of, let's change this to the other type. Server info dot required hacking to back for, and then we want server name and return, because we're just not going to print out the other piece, because that way we're not confused. If we've already backdoored it already, so server info dot backdoor installed. Is that a function? No. Okay. Property, yeah. And it's print, tprint. All right. Yeah, we'll do it that way. Already done for server. There we go. So in my case, I've already done it. Did I not return? I didn't return. There we go. Cool. All right. So this is done. I already got the message. I'm just going to delete that so we don't need to. If we wanted to, we can move this out to a different function, but this is fine. This is fine as it is. Moving these to different functions makes it easier to read what's going on, but this is fine. Yeah. All right. So this is done. All right. Now, depending on how far along you are in the game, there are I'm pretty sure you're already at least this far to be able to need CSEC, right? So this is just to make sure. So first off, we are done. You can stop watching here if you wanted to. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Help support. So that way I need a lot of subscribers, so I actually get revenue from this if you guys want to care, right? So cool, done. All right, so now here's a little bit of spoiler content, depending on how far you are, right? Which I may have done a little bit of spoiler already, but hopefully you're far enough or long, right? So you get these different messages, right? So you got the CSEC one that says, hey, come find us, right? And right, so CSEC task message, that's kind of how you map those together, right? So nightsec tells you the server name, right? So this will give you the various ones. So I happen to, from playing before, I know the various ones, so I can put them in, right? So we got CSEC, or if the server name equals, right, some other ones. So I wrote these to the side because I knew I would need these, right? So there's that one. Actually, let's copy from here over. Bam. close that one, and then, all right. Now, this last one is not a faction, but it is one that I like to have. Now, this is even spoiler, but when you get towards the end, this one matters. And that's because the thing after it is what you have to do. And so if I go and get this one backdoored, then I can, so once you've backdoored something, you can connect to it directly, right? So before backdooring, just to kind of show you, right? So if you connect, because I've backdoored to it, I can go directly to it. Normally you would have to go to home, home, and then Joe's, and then CSEC. Just to show you that, I go to this one, which I definitely have not backdoored because I don't have the skills for it yet. Connect. Can't do it. Got a backdoor, right? So the cave is something you have to end up doing at some point. And so you need to connect to a server that's connected to that. And so being able to backdoor directly to it and then the scan makes it so much easier. So that's why I've got it there. So I guess I don't need the NS. Okay. So now our RAM usage, 4.3. So that could be a problem in the beginning. Maybe not. So that's why I've got it broken up into different pieces. Cool. Yes, that is it. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Anything else? No, just to show you that's working. Right. Tells me the skill I need. Under cave quite a bit. Yep. So cool. Well, have a good night. And I think that's it. And so just to go back, our plan, this one's been done. Right. Next one. Let's do this one because that wasn't in the other pieces. This one was in that other. So you can at least still see that. But I need to do this piece to be able to create, because when I restarted, I didn't save the script. Silly me, I should have. But so I'll have to do this one again. And then this will catch us up where the other one was. And then formulas, coding contracts. I hear coding contracts are good. Those might be a little more on the advanced side. So I may do those, but keep those as a separate piece. So, yep, milestones, finish this. This really isn't any scripting to be done here. This is just a finish. And after that, there's actual spoiler content, which does require scripting. Well, not require it, but you know, you'll definitely need to. And we can do that stuff. Coding contracts are not needed. These are more to make money some extra cash on the side, right? So it's not needed to finish. Technically, formulas is not needed. And the batching is actually not needed, right? So these are actually not needed. It just makes it getting to the end faster, right? Because the thing you need is hacking skill. You need that to get high. And you can do that with these. Just takes time. In fact, you don't even need to purchase. In fact, you don't even need what we did today. You just need to be able to hack things and get money so you can buy augmentations. So that way your hacking skill goes up faster. So you can then get to the end and finish the flight thing, right? So remember, I'll run the flight, right? Got to get your hacking skill up. Need money, need to install augmentations. So, but we're doing these because it gets us there faster. At least it would be if I wouldn't have taken a break and we were doing this a little more together. So, cool. All right, take care, guys. Have a good night.